Hi, boys and girls. It's Mr. Wasemann, and today we continue our exploration of the persuasive essay genre. We are looking at the slides within our persuasive essay planner, and as you can see, I am on slide 11, where I wrote my introduction paragraph. Okay, now my introductory paragraph has two parts: some lead sentences, some hooks that try to draw in the reader, and then my thesis, which is my position and my 3 reasons why I believe my position to be true. Okay, I believe that everyone should learn how to play a musical instrument because it teaches you discipline, allows you to be creative, and because it's fun to make music. So in order to get my readers to believe my thesis, I got to give them more information. I got to give them more stuff to ponder. And that's where this persuasion map comes in handy. On slide 12, I explained to you that this graphic organizer will help you plan your persuasive essay by building off of your position and your 3 reasons. For each reason, you will provide 3 examples or evidence as to why your reason is valid. The more evidence you provide, the more convincing your position. So as you can see, this graphic organizer is kind of like a tree map. It branches out and then branches out further. So for your position or your thesis, you have your 3 reasons, and for each reason, you have 3 examples or pieces of evidence. If you go to the next slide, you'll see that I've expanded that persuasion map, and then in these light blue boxes, there's some text boxes that you can type in, okay? So if you take a look at the first few boxes, it says copy and paste your position here. Mr. Wasemann's not the greatest of typists, so I always look for shortcuts whenever I can. So what I do here is I go to my slide that has my boxes and bullets, my position and my reasons. I'm just going to Control-C copy and then Control-V paste, like so. So I'm just going to take a moment and copy each of those reasons and drop them into these 3 branches here. I don't need the bullet points here, so I'll take those out. And then as I'm copying and pasting, I want to start to think about what are some examples I can use that will help further drive my point home, okay, that everyone should learn a musical instrument, okay? Here we go. And last one is it's fun to make music. I think I grabbed that from the wrong spot, but that's okay. There. All right. So now that I have my 3 reasons plugged in, now I need to start thinking of some evidence. So how does learning to play a musical instrument teach you discipline? Well, first of all, you have to practice, okay? If you want to learn how to play, you have to learn by practicing. You learn by doing, okay? Now, notice I didn't write a complete sentence there. I just wrote a phrase. This graphic organizer is a place to collect ideas, and sometimes those ideas might be a word or a phrase or a list or something. We will translate these ideas into complete sentences and grammatical paragraphs later on, okay? Another way that learning musical instrument teaches you discipline is that you have to learn how to read music. Now, I myself can't read music well, but there, as a guitar player, there's a version called tablature that is specific to the instrument. Instead of reading the 5 staff lines with musical notes, I read 6 lines that represent the strings of a guitar, and there's a number system that represents where on the fretboard you would put your fingers, okay? So practice to improve. You have to learn to read music, and you have to learn how to take care of the instrument. Musical instruments are sometimes delicate. Some musical instruments are very expensive. Some musical instruments take a lot of care to maintain. So becoming a violinist or a pianist or a guitarist requires you to know how the instrument is put together and how to care for it properly, okay? So those are 3 reasons that are specific to the idea of discipline. So these examples kind of reinforce my reason, which helps reinforce my thesis. So now I need to think of 3 more examples that help my thesis, but they have to tie into being creative. Now, how can playing a musical instrument show your creative side? Well, when I pick up the guitar, I like to what I call noodle around, which is play some riffs, try out different chord structures, and just learn the instrument and figure out how to make some cool sounds. Sometimes I do that just as a way to blow off some steam. Sometimes it's in a way to maybe compose a new song. Lots of people pick up the learning a new instrument because they're interested in songwriting or being a musician. And one of the goals of being a musician is to create your own songs, your own compositions. Okay, but then sometimes artists can be creative not by composing something new, but interpreting. You take a song and you play it in a different way that kind of makes it your own. A common example or a famous example is the song All Along the Watchtower, which is a Bob Dylan composition. And Bob Dylan was a folk rock singer from started out in the 60s. His version of his song was kind of an acoustic folky song. But then a few years later, Jimi Hendrix, who was a phenomenal electric rock guitarist, re-recorded that song, put his own spin on it, and it became an anthem against the Vietnam War. All Along the Watchtower, Jimi Hendrix's version, is probably the more famous version of that song that people think about when you hear that title. Okay, so interpreting somebody else's work is a great way to show your creativity. Okay, and then finally, how is learning a musical instrument fun? Well, one thing you can do once you learn a musical instrument is you can perform for others. People who learn instruments want to perform. Okay, and whether it's at a party to show off to your friends, or to be taking part of a talent show, or being a part of like a worship band at your church, or you take part in band competitions in middle school or high school, it's fun to perform. Okay. Learning musical instruments is a great stress reliever. When I have a tough day at work, or if I'm like overloaded with schoolwork, I got a lot of grading to do, or curriculum to write, and I need a break because my mind's getting too full of ideas and I can't concentrate, I might sit down and play guitar for a few minutes to blow off some steam. Or if I'm having a stressful day and I just need to unwind, it's fun to just pick up my acoustic guitar and just strum along. And it releases that serotonin, and it helps you just calm down. Okay. And then finally, how is playing music fun? It brings me a lot of joy and satisfaction when I learn a new song. It gives me a sense of accomplishment. Okay, if I hear something on the radio and I figure it out just by ear, or if I hear a song on Spotify and I look it up and on figuring out how to play it, there's a website called Ultimate Guitar that I use quite a bit. And if I figure out how to play that song, it gives me a lot of satisfaction, and that's fun for me. It's like when you finish a level on a video game, or complete a puzzle, a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle, or you win at a board game. There's that sense of satisfaction that I did it, I completed it. Okay, and that's a lot of fun too. Okay, so as you can see, I have mapped out a bunch of different examples, little pieces of evidence that I can use in my paragraphs that help reinforce my reasons. And each of these reasons help reinforce my thesis. Everyone should learn how to play musical instruments. Okay, so the more facts and evidence that I gather, the better and stronger the case I can make for you, the reader, to believe what I am trying to tell you in my persuasive essay. Okay, so your job is to transfer position and reasons into this graphic organizer and then generate some examples that will help you sell your idea to the person who reads your essay. Okay, and then in the next video, we're going to talk about how do we take all that information that we've collected for our first reason and take those bits and pieces, those words and phrases, and turn them into complex, complete sentences that further sell your idea. Okay, until we talk again, good luck with your writing. Thanks.